Phil's talking about they're gonna have more instructions. But
I don't think they're just.
Okay, this is-
Oh, they don't have to.
We're live.
We're good?
Well, this the camera is on.
You just tell me, give me a thumbs up when we're ready to go. And we'll start. Right.
Yeah, we can go ahead and start.
Okay, we want to welcome everybody for coming to our meeting today on June 8th. We're glad we have a full board. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right, let's move into our budget hearing. Go ahead and Mrs. Krantz, give us your presentation.
Good evening. Annually, a school district in the state of Idaho has to present their amended and or, their proposed budget. So we'll start with our amended budget for 25-26.
Oh,
Wow. Anyone check your keys? Me neither.
Okay. I sometimes shift wrong in my seat and it hits, but it's not mine this time.
Should just give them a lot and make it easier.
Thank you, Lisa. You're welcome. Okay, we could go to the second page. Support units for our 25-26 proposed budget. We started at 203.5 units. We are amending our unit count to 206.6, which is exactly what we qualified for this year. For those of you who don't understand the support unit, that's just a factor in the way the state funds school districts. So, salary-based apportionment, originally we had projected $23,122,991. Our amended budget came in at $23,059,656. For state discretionary funds, the original budget was $9,233,609. And that actually came in higher at $9,381,075. So we had a total state funding increase of $84,131. Our total revenue for FY 2026 will be $40,151,240. The breakdown of this is such. Salaries and benefits, we will be putting out about $31,615,083. Purchased services in the amount of $4,372,153. Supplies and materials in the amount of $909,500. Capital outlay in $42,200. Insurance will be $284,948. Transfers to other funds, $119,391. So our total expenditures of $4,151,240 for a balanced budget. So projected fund balance at the end of this year will be $1,893,391. Our upcoming budget for FY 2027, we will bring a carryover balance in of about $1.8 million. Local revenue will be $865,222,000. Our state revenue, salary-based apportionment with benefits, will be $23,351,172. State discretionary monies will be $9,835,470. And other state revenue will be $3,150,317, for a total state revenue of $36,336,959. Total revenue for next year is projected to be $39,002,181. The expenditure side of that, salaries and benefits are projected to be $32,499,451. Purchase services, $3,878,217. Supplies and materials, $656,500. We are projecting no capital outlay out of our general fund. Insurance, $284,686. Transfers to other funds, $35,000. Our contingency reserve will be $1,648,327, for total expenditures of $39,002,181. General fund expenditures, our salaries and benefits, our health insurance plan will remain the same as last year. The cost that I have projected includes a 19.5% increase to our premiums from last year to the next year. Dental plans will remain the same as last year. There was no cost increase on the Delta dental premiums. Purchase services. Purchase services include utility costs across campus, which includes power, propane, natural gas, telephone, water, sewer, trash. Software licensing is our Skyward student information system and our financial management software. Our ICE Corp hosting, which hosts our software subscription. Website management, Destiny is our library application. Student assessment applications, copier, printer leases, etc. Professional and contract services such as legal and auditing services, security services, any special education services mandated by IEPs, any building system needs, plumbing, electrical, equipment repairs. We're going to have a cost decrease from FY26 to 27 in the amount of $493,936. Supplies and materials. All supplies and materials that are needed to implement any kind of lesson within the classroom, so such as paper, art supplies, science supplies, etc. All parts and supplies to replace and or repair building equipment and building systems. Custodial supplies, including all cleaning, disinfectant supplies, paper towels, toilet paper, etc. We will have a cost decrease from FY26 to FY27 of $253,000. General fund expenditures. This, as I shared, was the capital outlay and equipment, which includes classroom furnishing such as desks, chairs, tables, storage, etc. Technology equipment such as laptops, computers, projectors for staff and students. HVAC units, grounds, maintenance equipment. We actually will have a cost decrease from FY26 to 27 of $42,200. Insurance. Our insurance expenses include professional liability, building and property, and we will actually have a slight decrease of $262 for FY27. Contingency reserve. Per our district policy, we are to budget no less than 5% of our projected general fund revenue. Other funds. We have other funds that come into the district. Local and state include such funds as special grants, state career and technical education, state technology, safe and drug-free, bond redemption, plants and facilities, school facilities cooperative funds, school district facilities funds, and school modernization funds. We also have federal funds, title funds such as Title 1A, Title 1C, Title 2A, etc. IDEA funds for school age special ed and preschool. Carl's Perkins, which helps us fund our CTE supplies and child nutrition program. For FY 2026, the amended budget across all these funds is $46,764,889. Our proposed budget across these funds for next year is $44,005,179. It's a total decrease of $2,759,710 or 5.9% decrease. Food service meal fees. Due to the rising food and food prep supplies, we do have a need to increase our meal fees. A detail of these proposed meal fees will be provided in an upcoming fee increase public meeting. Bond redemption fund. On September 15th, 2026, we will have a principal and interest amount due of $2,935,000. On March 15th of 2026, we'll have interest only due in the amount of $869,720. So the total amount due towards our bond payment will be $3,804,720. We will take the school facilities funds, which is required to be used to pay down our bond payment in the amount of, that we're anticipating receiving $3,700,000. This is a projected amount as we don't typically have that exact number until the end of August 2026. So the projected amount to levy next year will be about $104,720.
So we clarify that's part of the bond levy.
Yes, that is part of the bond levy. That's the end of my presentation, unless anyone has any questions.
Any good questions? Do you have a question? No?
I think it'd be worth noting though that the board did have a workshop prior to this.
We did, thank you. And we've gone through all the line items together, so we appreciate all your work on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any signed in?
We do, but I'm not sure it's for the budget hearing.
Dawn and Jenica, are you here for the hearings, just for the general meeting? Okay, and Jacob for the part that you're.
All right. Thank you. With that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the amended 2025-2026 budget.
I move that we approve the amended 2026-2027 budget. I'm sorry, 25-26 budget. Amended 25-26 budget, yeah.
Second.
Thank you, Cindy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed 2026-2027 budget.
I move that we approve the proposed 2026-2027 budget.
Sorry.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. That closes the budget hearing part of the meeting. We will move on to the fee increase hearing. And we will have a presentation on the lunch fee
Mrs.
increase.
Krantz is gonna do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So handed out to you tonight is our proposed increase for our meal fees. Last year.
We're working on bringing that up for LP, but we'll keep going.
Last year, student breakfast fees were $235.35. We are projecting a 25% increase, so that amount will now go to $2.60. Adult breakfast will go from $3 to $3.35. Elementary student lunch will go from $3.35 to $3.60. Middle school student lunch will go from $3.50 to $3.75. High school and the academy student lunch will go from $3.60 to $3.85. Adult lunch will go from $5.10 to $5.35. Milk will increase from 50 cents to 75 cents. Due to the percentage of increase, anytime a district charges over 105% of the original fee, we do have to take this to a proposed meeting. A majority of our meal costs are increasing from 25 cents each, with the exception of the adult breakfast that's increasing by 35 cents. So we are asking for this pricing increase just due to the supplies, the cost of food, the increase in delivery costs, fuel, and yeah, we just need to maintain the financial integrity of this child nutrition program.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have a presentation on the season pass fee increase.
I'll just roll through that. That's something that was part of the packet. What was that?
Nobody signed in for the vehicles.
We're
We'll do
gonna-
it together.
We're gonna
Oh,
do
do it
that
together.
one, yeah.
So this has been a proposal from our athletic director and high school administration requesting that we increase the fee charges for the regular season passes. It's been the same since 2017 for the regular season passes. So going from a single person regular season pass from 100 to 150, a couple from 200 to 250, and a family from 250 to 300. And that's just to meet what the cost of the ticket, we've increased ticket prices a couple of times during that time, but we've not increased the season pass. So it's just trying to bring us up onto par with that, and that helps us pay for refs and jerseys and all kinds of things, so. Any questions on that?
Okay. All right. Anybody we don't have signed in for
No
that,
signed in
correct?
for that.
Okay. All right. I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed lunch fee increase.
Make a motion that we approve the proposed lunch fee increase.
Second.
Second with Jay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed season pass increase.
I move that we approve the proposed season pass increase. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's move on. We have some signed in visitors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's been, Jacob has signed up, but it's for a part of our discussion, so he'll be.
Very good. Okay.
Let's hand that down. Are you gonna do separately?
Nice. Singing a duet or?
Are you doing separately?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Okay. Come on up to my podium. Thanks for coming.
Do I need to state my name and address and all that?
No, but just know you have about 3 minutes, so go ahead.
Okay, I'm not gonna take that long. I just wanted to give the board, an update. This last Saturday, we were able to, the community was able to participate in the Acts of Kindness. I hope you saw the posters about that, going around, and appreciate the school board and posting it on their Facebook page as well. We were able to, we had about 150 volunteers that showed up on Saturday at the high school. We were able to remove bark and weeds from the planters at the high school in the student parking lot and not the teacher parking lot, but the entrance parking lot, and then down by the tennis courts as well. We were able to remove weeds there. We planted, I think, 16 bushes in the tennis courts. not the tennis courts, in the planters, at the tennis courts. And then we were also able to distribute throughout the tennis courts, the visitor parking, or the entrance parking lot, and then the student parking lot, about 90 yards of rock that we were able to get donated to us. And it was a really great event. We had a lot of people show up, and we're just really grateful for that. We were able to do it through the Just Serve club, and also basically through Just Serve. So we're really grateful that the high school has a Just Serve club, and we're able to use that organization for service projects. I just wanted to briefly let you know who our donors were. We had High Desert Demo and Excavation. We had Smiles. Republic Services donated the big 20-yard roll-off dumpsters so that we could put all of the material in there. That will be removed tomorrow, those big dumpsters. Silver Creek Realty, Sunshine Landscape, Elite Homes and Property, Morgan Law Firm, and Simon.
Excavation or something.
Well, it's.
I know who it is, yeah.
Stormwater prevention, those guys. We are working, I did reach out to the city today to see if they could possibly come and sweep up the parking lot now that since there was quite a bit of rock left over. We did our best to try to blow it out, but we couldn't get it all. The city's street sweeper is currently in the shop. So that's not a possibility right now, but I have also reached out to a couple other businesses to see if we could possibly get a street sweeper to come in, be able to clean up. My family went out Saturday night and tried to sweep and blow things together as much as we possibly could, but we just don't have the capacity to be able to clean up the entire parking lot. But we're very excited about what we were able to do. We're hoping that this can start a community effort to be able to provide service and cleanup opportunities in our community. In addition with this, really quickly, we also were able to gather food that I will be distributing to the food pantry and to the food bank. So we just really appreciate everyone's efforts in making this service and community project a success.
Thank you.
And if you haven't driven by the high school, I would recommend you take a chance to drive and look at those beds.
Yeah.
They look really great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Reynolds.
Hold my comments, thank you.
Thank you.
So
All right.
under duress by the person next to you.
No.
All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. He's later. So. Any discussion on the consent agenda? I'm taking that as a no.
We move to approve the consent agenda.
All right, if that helps.
Second.
All right. And Derek, you need,
I'm going to recuse
okay, perfect, thank you,
on voting on the consent agenda.
thank you. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Well, let's move on. Okay, discussion items. A, request to use football pads at summer events.
This is a recurring request. Every summer we have to make this request for the school board according to IHSAA rules. As far as our high school students are going to attend a camp where they're using our pads, football pads, as part of just a safety matter for the school board to acknowledge we're okay with our kids using our high school pads in a camp setting this summer. Like I said, it has to come before you every summer. So any questions or concerns? Okay, that's all there is. So there'll be an action item
Okay,
on that one.
thank you. Let's talk about a trip to Orlando.
Okay, I am officially transmitting the apologies of Mr. Hollinger for not having gotten this request in sooner. The trip is pretty quick. Turnaround next week. This is the student council. I sent the description out to you as a board. They fundraised for the majority of the costs. The fundraising is being split between 4 students that are attending. Mrs. Miney and Mr. Hollinger will be attending as well. This is a national leadership conference for, again, 4 of our students.
Did he know at the last minute he was going?
No,
Okay.
they knew, but
They've been raising money for it.
they've been raising money for quite some time
Okay.
to do this. This was one of those
Like,
where
profusely is apologizing.
the administrators knew, the teacher in charge was not aware of this. This is the first time she's been in charge of this kind of outside of the state and overnight trip. So she was not aware, but it will not happen again, they promise. So anyway, any questions on the trip itself? Besides the late notice on
No, but it looks like a great opportunity.
Okay.
And Andy, no? All right,
No other questions.
well, let's talk about a new club, MMS.
And Mr. Doty will be speaking to this.
Come on up.
So I wanted to propose a cheer club for the middle school. Parks and Rec has been running cheer for the past couple of years, but they disbanded it. They would run their cheer program, practice there, and then come cheer at our games. And we would have football, we'd have about 30 girls there cheering. Basketball, we'd have about 15 to 20. They would rotate the girls in and out. They just want to be a club so they can be a part of the school, have a place to practice. They do all their own fundraising, so we don't have to fund them at all. They just want a home and a place to practice, because they even mentioned to me last year, practicing in Parks and Rec. They still even wanted to come over because the girls felt disconnected from the school they were cheering for because they weren't practicing at the school. And I've already got a space lined out for them to practice after school.
Perfect.
Do you guys have any questions on it?
No, as a former cheerleader parent, I wish you all the luck in the world.
Well, and the parent volunteers already communicated with the high school coach to help get those girls ready for high school cheer. I know a lot of our 8th graders made the JV or varsity cheer team at the high school.
It's nice to have them there. It's
It
good.
gives
Thank
them
you.
something to do after school.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. New course approval.
Okay, so as you remember, there was a new graduation requirement for our graduating seniors for, I believe, the graduating class of 2028 is the first class that this hit. It's for digital literacy. It came up in the 2025 legislative session, and our original plan was to run that course through IDLA. And if we would provide multiple opportunities for the students to take that between when they entered the high school as a freshman and when they graduated as a senior. With the changes to IDLA, based on the legislative cuts, IDLA was cut by about 50%. The opportunities, we can't create our own custom courses through IDLA anymore. And we get the smaller rural schools get first dibs at IDLA courses and it's going to get tighter and tighter. There was a little bit of carryover that they're using to get kids classes as much as they can, but we have to wait a week to get into the classes. And so there's a good chance some of our students wouldn't get in to those IDLA courses. So our proposal is to create a new course, an online digital literacy course of our own. And what we would utilize for the curriculum is code.org. Code.org has a digital literacy curriculum that is free for schools to use. It is there's code.org and Common Sense Media that both provide free digital literacy curriculum. The code.org is the one that the state would recommend of the two, so we've chosen to go with code.org. And then what we would do is we would take the code.org curriculum and place that into a Google Classroom that we run as a school district. Mr. Yancey at the high school, who's one of the assistant principals, would run that. There would be a small stipend for his time managing the course, but other than that, that would be the only cost, is paying that stipend to Mr. Yancey. And we haven't determined what that stipend would be, because we haven't seen how many students will actually have to take that. But we see this as an opportunity to kind of develop how we would run an online course for our own students now that IDLA is becoming something that we don't have as much access to. We'll still use it as much as we can, but there may be classes that we may want to do in the future that we would have done through IDLA. And this provides a good opportunity for us to develop that kind of a program. So that's what we're proposing to meet that digital literacy requirement.
What does a curriculum review look like once we take that information and create a program around it? Is there a group a committee that looks at all the information, or?
Well, that would be, it would be added in under the electives as that part of the curriculum update. So we're like 3 years out from a review of that. So we would be holding on to code.org until that review were done.
But you said we're using code.org and making our own.
We're not creating anything new from
Okay.
what
Free
code.org.
curriculum, yeah.
So what you
Just
see in
facilitating,
code.org is what would be there, and it meets all the standards from the state.
So these are from the state?
Yes, from the
That's what I was
state
gonna ask. Okay.
Did we run that through a committee, or?
There really wasn't, because it was a standalone class, we typically don't create a committee for a standalone, but it would be part of any future adoption committee review.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right, handbooks.
As you saw, we submitted the handbooks for Purple Sage, Mill Creek, the Academy, and the high school. Each of those there was a summary, unless the only changes were changes to dates. The lunch account or the lunch pricing in each of those will be adjusted to meet the new newly approved. So we'll have them all make those adjustments. Other than those adjustments, were there any questions with any of the changes that were made to the handbooks?
Do we need to put 60 seconds in them?
It's not required. I think what I would suggest is that we send out a notification to all parents via email at the beginning of the school year,
Okay.
since it affects all the schools the same.
No, that's great. Perfect. That was my only question.
Any other questions from your reviews of the handbooks? Okay.
I will say I like the way the high school is kind of restructured. It's,
Yeah, the high school did some good,
they did a good job.
significant changes
Yes.
to there, so.
All right. Let's talk F.
Okay. So our community school, as you're aware, we've been operating out of the Nazarene Church. That's up here, what's that park right next to it? Hawthorne, thank you. Right next to Hawthorne Park. Yep, Hawthorne and Concord. And that Nazarene Church, we've had a lease with them for the last couple of years. They are electing to not renew the lease. And for whatever reason, they have a new pastor. He has a new program, wants to use the building in a different way. It's not because we've utilized it in any way that's inappropriate. It's just they've got a different plan and it is their building. So that would be requiring us to find a new location for the community school and the clothing pantry, the food pantry that are part of that. What we're proposing at this point, and this would be something that as we're looking at the options, so even though there's an action request on this. I would not be looking for any action from you as a board at this time because we're still in the process. We just learned of this a week ago. But what we're proposing is that we would utilize the space that's part of the back end of the rec center where our construction students were before we built a new construction building. And then that would be it's one classroom space right there. And there's a tiny office that I potentially use as, we have to have a washer and dryer if we're going to be a closed pantry. And so we need running water and the washer and dryer. There would need to be some upgrades to a back office to make that happen, but we would add those spaces. And then the proposal would be to look at either a portable office rather than a full-on classroom. Because sometimes you look at like construction sites and things like that, those portable offices would be a cheaper way to get the kind of space we need that we would place next to that classroom space. Or we could even look at the possibility of our construction students constructing a small office space right there. So we're looking at what the cost would be to make each of those things happen, what kind of permitting we'd have to look at for the city. But that's our first choice, would be to recommend that space. If that doesn't work and we're not able to find a space, we'd be probably having to piecemeal the community school across different parts, just because we won't have a concentrated space that we could find with what we have available.
When is it leased up?
In September, they're willing to work with us for a couple months after that on a month-to-month if we're not finished with creating whatever space. So we got a little bit of time. But my goal would be to have a full-on recommendation to you for next month's meeting so that we could get any approvals met so we can start moving. But any concerns, any questions, comments on that proposed path?
I think there's an expenditure for an office space like that, if we could connect with the community and utilize our kids who are learning construction trades, donate and do some cool stuff. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, I think it's a small enough space that we need, in addition to the classroom space that's already there, that I think it's doable in a short amount of time as well.
I really have a hard time with the piecemealing it.
Right, out.
Because it is such a come in and go here, go there.
Correct.
type of thing
It would
for
be
them
ideal
meet
to have
their
them
needs.
all together.
Yeah.
So if there's no concerns, questions, I'll proceed with getting those kind of arrangements made of what the cost will be so we can make that decision in our July meeting.
Perfect, thank you. All right, let's talk about facility use.
This has been something that we've been discussing for a little bit here within the office for the last couple of years. And then when the levy did not pass, it kind of brought it to the forefront. Several years ago, we looked at the use of our facilities and how we use those for Middleton groups, nonprofits, those kind of organizations. And we basically tried to not charge those, groups that are Middleton centric, nonprofits, that kind of thing. Also, we've had some significant changes to our facilities since we made our list, and the costs that have gone on. The costs that are there right now are the charges we would give to rent any of our facilities it's probably older than those season passes. It's certainly older than 2015 since those have been updated. And since then, our spaces have changed. Just with the turf area up at the high school, we never charged anybody for utilizing that empty grass space. But now with the turf space, we feel like there would need to be some consistent charges that were given. We didn't charge anybody this over since it was installed or last year, and that's something that we need to start being able to recoup funds, because at some point down the road, we're gonna have to redo that turf. So what I'm suggesting is that we look at a plan that would, one, update all the costs of our facilities, but also create at least a minimal cost for all groups that have to use the facilities. We're not talking exorbitant amount of fees for a little kid basketball team that's going to use it to practice, but we feel like there needs to be some cost, because there's costs that are being incurred. And as you saw in our budget, we're restricting significantly, as we will talk about there's a lot of cuts we're making. We probably need to make sure that the facilities that are being used are paying for themselves rather than us covering the cost. That's my recommendation, and if that fits with you as a board, I will create a recommendation to bring to you. And if there's any feedback, suggestions as we make that, my feeling is that there should be a tiered system, that still the for-profits would pay, a full cost, and that nonprofits might have a different cost that they have to pay to utilize, but there still has to be a cost for all of those. So
Power costing.
power,
Custodial
custodial, all of those kind of things are costing us when these facilities are used.
No, that sounds good.
So if that feels comfortable, it will require an update to both policy and our forms and everything. So there'll be quite a bit that goes into that, but we'll get that rolling now.
Yeah,
But I didn't want to start down the road if the board had significant concerns about that.
I don't, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. All right, here we go.
all right.
The fun one.
So I just wanted to, with the levy not passing, felt like giving you a summary of how we're planning to divide those costs up, or the cuts and changes to programs. I wanted to give that to you as a board and kind of go through that point by point, so that you as a board can essentially approve that that's the process. I think I want to make sure that it's clear. The budget that was proposed to all of you by Mrs. Krantz includes these cuts. So us talking about these cuts doesn't add additional wiggle room within that. It's there. If there are changes you need us to make to these cuts, then we would take those changes and still make sure that that cost ended up being the same, because that's a requirement we've got to hit. So I'm going to just start. The front just basically describes what that means for families, and we can come back to that. I want to go through the list here with you, just so that we aired that out for everybody. At Purple Sage Elementary, we would be cutting, and when I say cutting teachers, we're cutting positions. Almost all of these have been made by us taking advantage of people who have left. So we're making the cuts by attrition rather than having to go to tell somebody you don't have a job anymore. But we're not filling the position back. So 1 teacher at Purple Sage, 2 teachers at Mill Creek, 2 teachers at Heights, 2 teachers and half an administrator at the middle school. Middleton High School would be 1.5 teachers. Middleton Academy, 0.5 administrators. District office, we would have 1 certified position and 1.1 administrative positions. I want to describe that really quick, just because it's not when we're looking at these positions, we're looking at the dollars out of the general fund that they're taking. So for the 1.1 of that is one of our district directors is moving down. It was in the consent agenda. It's moving down to 0.9 instead of 1.0. And that's to account for some factors that they have in their life that they're not going to be able to be here for certain times of the day. Very minimal, but needs to be cut. But then the other one would be within our federal programs. We have a federal program director that is currently being paid significantly out of our general fund. We would be looking at ways to pull that apart so that it's being paid out of other funds instead of the general fund. And some of that may require that person take on some of the teaching responsibilities within some of the classes. But it's, again, the reason I listed as one is because it's a savings to our general fund, even though the position is not being reduced. But I want to make sure that that was clear. I couldn't figure out a way to describe that succinctly on the page. So that brings us to a total reduction of 13.6 teaching and administrative positions in the district. The classified staff reductions would be Purple Sage is 3.5 instructional aides, Mill Creek Elementary, 3 instructional aides, Heights Elementary, 3 instructional aides, Middleton Middle School, 1.5 instructional aides, Middleton Middle School athletics programs at 0.3 of an FTE, and that would be with the elimination of the 7th grade football. The 7th grade students have an opportunity to play within the Optimus program, and so that's a little bit of where that comes from. Mr. Doty, do you have anything else you'd like to share on that?
I believe they have 2 leagues they can play in. There's Optimus and then there's a Middleton club team they can play in. And then just as far as gear of what we use, like this year, I ordered helmets and reconditioned helmets, and that cost came out to about $7,400 this year. So not having 7th grade, we had about 40 7th graders this past year. That cuts down the wear and tear on that. I have heard in previous years, sometimes the Optimus will pull a lot of our 7th graders, so we might only have 25, so the numbers vary year to year. But they do have opportunity to play other places.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that that was clear what we were describing there. Middleton High School, 2.5 instructional aides, district, and it says district-wide, but district office, we'd be looking at 2 classified positions. So a total of 15.8 classified staff reductions. School safety, we would not renew the applied concept security contract serving elementary schools. That one had 3 officers, 1 at each elementary school. We would eliminate the secondary safe school aid positions. There are elementary safe school aid positions that we would not cut, but the secondary, so academy, middle school, and high school each had an unarmed safety school, school safety aid. And then that would also eliminate 1 SRO position. So that'd be a total of 7 FTE reduction for our school safety program. And I would reiterate that the reason that those are there is because the state doesn't provide us funding for school security. We have safe and drug-free school funds that pay for 2/3 of one of the SROs. And that's all that we get out of that. Curriculum and instruction, there would be no curriculum adoption for the career technical education programs during the 2026-2027 school year. If this were to continue, the next one up is math. So, we'll have to find what we're going to do, but for this next year, we would not be adopting any new curriculum. Student activities, we would be raising those student activity fees from $150 up to $150 for the first activity. And then for the second activity, it'd be $75, and the third activity would be $75. Currently, the way they do it, they do the first fee is a certain amount, second fee is the same amount, and then the third fee they don't pay for. So we rather have it that they pay a lower amount for each of them. Transportation, there would be no transportation to Treasure Valley activities. That does not preclude a team from fundraising to provide transportation in the past, when we've had to lower the extracurricular transportation costs. The district has allowed, let's say the volleyball team, that they fundraise so that they can have those trips provided by the buses. But when our teams are going to Twin Falls, Moscow, Pocatello, those kind of trips, we would still be paying for those trips. parents are responsible for transportation to the away activities. And a lot of times we talk about these in terms of sports, but this also includes all of our arts programs that go to different competitions within the state as well, or within the valley. We have extra routes where we currently pick up students that there is a safe, technically safe walking path. And I say technically because the state has specific requirements for it to be considered a safe route to school. Currently, we've been picking up some of those students because it worked better for the families and we were trying to provide a service to them. But if there's a safe route to school, and that goes up to about a mile away from school, if there is a safe, so when you look at safe route, it's sidewalks, crosswalks, all of the appropriate pathways for a student to be able to safely navigate themselves. Excuse me. And then we currently have an employee student shuttle. So the students are employees who have students at schools. At the end of the day, those students are shuttled to where their parents are at. And that was just a benefit we were able to provide to our staff, but we will be cutting that as well. In technology, the scheduled laptop replacement purchases are canceled for the 26-27 school year. And that's as a whole. That doesn't mean we won't replace one or two here, one or two there. But as a blanket adoption, we would not be doing that for this 26-27 school year. On maintenance and facilities, we would eliminate one grounds position and one custodial position and reduce the maintenance supply budget for some of those projects that we're looking at. So that matches what we described to our community that would happen. And I think the biggest thing I want to emphasize is that school, even though school is still going to open, I mean, we're still going to have classes, kids are coming back, we're going to be teaching, we're going to do a great job. It's going to be that much harder to provide the level of service that we've provided for our families within Middleton as a result of these cuts. And there's just, our teachers will do their best, but we can't, when there's 30 people missing to teach all our students, it means that there are times where the one-on-one help isn't going to be there because the teacher just doesn't have that aid, or they have more students in their class than they would have had normally. The school safety and security, I have a parent safety and security group that wants to help, but they won't be able to provide the level of service that we've had in school safety and security. We'll do everything we can, but it just doesn't change what we can provide. So those are some of the things that I just want to make sure that it's clear that while we'll continue going on, it constricts what we're doing, the level of service, and it just makes it harder on the people that are providing the service because they have more responsibility now. Every one of these positions, can we get by without them? Sure. But it makes it harder, and it makes it so that it's harder to provide the level of education that we have been. So I don't know if there's any other questions, suggestions, anything from you as a board that you feel you need to add to that?
Nope.
Yeah, that's just what we expected.
Done the best you could with what we got.
I just hate that it affects kids.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
And I'll say, our teachers are gonna try and do everything they can to make sure it doesn't.
I know.
But there's just no two ways about it. When you don't have $1.9 million to do stuff with, it's gonna have an impact. So, that will be something that will be an action item that we'll need the board to.
Okay. Thank you. Let's move on to policy.
So there has not been any changes made from last board meeting to this board meeting. So what's in front of you is what we presented last board meeting. We continue to work with Mrs. Krantz and MEA to review those. So we'll put a final draft of these policies in front of you prior to next board meeting so you can see what the final would look like.
Okay.
So third reading,
Yeah.
Yep.
all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
All 14.
All
Yeah,
14.
I'll move
All right, who's the brave soul?
to preview.
Was there any question first?
Anybody have any questions? Did you have any questions? All right,
I make a motion that we move policy 2445, policy 3085, policy 7225, policy 7235, policy 7237, policy 7450, policy 7450-P2, policy 7430, policy 7270, policy 7320, policy 7320-P2, policy 7400-P1, policy 7400-P2, and policy 7400-P4 to a third reading.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the use of the football pads at summer events.
I make a motion, we approve the use of football pads at summer camp events.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye. I would entertain a motion to approve the trip to Orlando.
I move that we approve the trip to Orlando, Florida for high school government.
Okay.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. I would entertain a motion to approve the new middle school club.
I move that we approve the new middle school club for cheerleading.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye. I entertain a motion to approve Purple Sage, Mill Creek, Milton Academy, Milton High School handbooks.
I move-
Please say them all.
Go ahead.
I approve, I move to approve handbooks for Purple Sage, Mill Creek, Middleton Academy, and Middleton High School.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. I would make a motion to approve pets to the district personnel and program.
I make a motion that we approve the cuts to the district personnel and programs.
I'll second that. I can second it. I just can't make a motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Right.
Aye.
You want to mention item E there, just that.
Yes, we are just tabling, we're just not gonna do anything with item E because you're gonna bring us a proposal.
Correct.
We don't really have anything to vote on.
Yep, correct.
All right.
As per, section 74-2061B of Idaho Code, to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual student, I move that we go into executive session.
Second.
Who was the second?
Sydney Smith.
Trustee Moore,
Yep.
trustee Dempsey,
Yes.
trustee White,
Yes,
trustee Powell,
Yes.
trustee Clark.
Yes.
thank you. We are in executive session. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you all.
I saw more than the high school, they were.